What we do here is go back.
And welcome, everybody. Brand new show, brand new year. Look at that, brand new look. I forgot I even updated the look of the show. Welcome. In case you didn't know, you are listening to our podcast, Tuned In Live. This is January the 6th, 2024. Now, before I get into today's show, if you guys have yet to do so, if you are joining us on our Kick channel, YouTube, or our Twitch, and also Tom's channels are listed below as well, as you see them scrolling at the bottom. If you like to, feel free to follow any of the channels during the show or even after the show. Show us a love. We have been giving you some good content here lately. You know, the podcast has been going pretty good. The game stream's been going pretty good. So, without further ado, let's get to today's show. Now, if you guys would like to be on today's show, like to be on the podcast today, the Discord is hot and live. If you guys want to join us on Discord, if you want to be on the show, feel free to hop into Discord in the general chat. So, what a year so far, ain't it? This has been a hell of a year so far, I guess I could say. There's one thing I want to talk about. Let's see, Miami police. Yes, I am talking about an incident that happened last night, actually. This is hilarious. And this has had social media blowing up to proportions. I don't know why. Like, it's all fake. It's all a scam, of course. Because what has happened in the last couple days? What has honestly happened in the last 2 to 3 days to where they need another distraction, yet another distraction to push on to people because something has been released, something that has been announced, that has come out. Oh, I know, and I talked about it yesterday on Tom's podcast, Tom and I's podcast on a Random Crap. We talked about the Epstein list. The Epstein Island list. The list of people who either attended the island, who visited the island, or maybe even possibly part of his pedophilia ring. Yes. They are now leaking names from the list. And there are some celebrities on there that shouldn't be too shocking. One of them, which I'm kind of surprised a little bit, but the guy's been dead for, over 10 years, Michael Jackson. And it's funny how back in the 90s, Michael Jackson, he's been accused of so many things related to touching children, spending time with children, hanging around with children, basically labeling him out as a pedophile. That was all back in the 90s. Damn, I hate blowing my nose live on stream, guys. Like, Christ. I feel like I've been sick for like 3 months, man. On and off. Non-stop. It's been cold, it's been sneezing, it's been blowing my nose. God, every time I go live, you guys hear me blow my fucking nose or something, Ain't that about a bitch? But yeah, I was talking about the Epstein list yesterday. Michael Jackson was on that list. But whenever something arises, okay, like when the list started getting leaked the first time, earlier this week, the first name, of course, that came out on that list was Big Willie himself, Bill Clinton. Ain't that something? And we all knew it was coming. We all knew that the Clintons had links to the Epsteins. Who do you think had Epstein murdered? Epstein didn't kill himself in a cell. He was on suicide watch. Yeah, but where did the guards go? The guards took off. They were gone for X amount of time while everything took place. The cameras were shut off and everything. They come back and he was hanging in a cell or however they found him. I can't remember. But yeah, the Clintons did that. Because who's on the list? Bill himself. Who was the first name that was leaked from the list? Bill himself. So Hillary, when you're thinking about trying to run for politics now, you might want to stay at home and watch your husband, because your hubby, yeah, he's doing some whack shit. He's been doing some whack shit for the last 30 years. He had a woman under his desk sucking his dick and all. He spent time at Epstein's Island. He was probably having little girls give him blowjobs, Maybe that's what's getting him off. He's an old, perverted fucking man looking at young women. I'm pretty sure if Monica came out, I'm pretty sure Monica would say some lewd things about him. She probably has in her book. I don't remember. I never even read the book. But who knows? Monica probably has a lot of those secrets tucked away until something happens. Until something comes out about him, and then she could strike next. And this would be a good opportune time if Monica knows something about him being a pedophile, doing things with kids. Now would be a good time to come out, Monica. But yeah, this week was the whole Epstein list that was released. And of course, a lot of those names on that list, even no matter what they do or what they release from that list, nothing's going to happen. Nothing ever fucking happens. It's all going to be swept under the rug one way or another. Because I'm pretty sure some names on that list may happen to be Biden. I'm pretty goddamn sure. Because when that comes out, they're going to find a way to sweep under. Oh, shit, this accidentally got out, but this never happened. COVID, new strain of COVID coming out. Yeah, Biden at Epstein's Island, that never happened. We got a new strain of COVID. Yeah, we got to keep you all safe, da-da-da. Hey, it's election year. This is the year to turn things around, people. You got more and more idiots that are going for trying to believe Biden. Like, the Democrats are trying so hard to cover their tracks, to make things good in America. Yeah, y'all had 4 fucking years to do that. But within the 4 fucking years, Biden has destroyed the economy. A lot of businesses have gone under. A lot of people entrepreneurs who open their own businesses, they've had to shut their businesses down. And it's not, COVID is partly to blame, yes. But even when Trump was running things for the little bit of time that he had, there was ways of keeping businesses afloat. But because of the COVID situation and the way the Biden administration were handling things, a lot of money was lost. A lot of businesses went under. But they were like, okay, for those of you who are struggling to pay your bills and shit like that, we're going to give you stimulus checks because it affects you. A stimulus check of what, $1,200? That don't get you jack shit, Joe. That don't get you jack shit. Maybe 2 small bills. That's about it. 2 small bills. People have mortgages, rent, electric bills, internet, maybe cable, phone bills, car notes, car insurance, health care insurance, maybe life insurance. People have a ton of shit on their plate. $1,200 is not going to cover it. And on top of all those major things they have, there's a lot of people who have credit card debt as well. So you got to figure maybe your average household probably spends close to $3,000 a month to keep everything afloat, to keep people out of jail, to keep people from being being homeless and shit. There's a lot of shit that happens. A $1,200 stimulus is not going to fucking cut it. But then you got people that are living on welfare, and it's like, damn, people who live on welfare seem to do a hell of a lot better than somebody like me who goes out and works for a living. That's amazing. You look at somebody's refrigerator who's on welfare, well stocked, some of the best food out there, full of meat, full of dairy, full of this, full of that. What's my fucking refrigerator look like? Barely empties at times. Jesus Christ. And we're struggling to fucking make it through, you know, but we manage, you know? That's the American way of life. You do what you can to provide for your family, to provide for yourself. You know, you don't fucking stand up on that pedestal with Biden and say, hey, give me a fucking check. You don't do that. But yeah, so many jobs went under. So many people lost a lot of good businesses, a lot of good jobs. Where are they at now? They had to take up 2 or 3 jobs to accumulate that. Maybe they're working at Walmart. Maybe they're working at a Target or a grocery store or a gas station. Any means necessary to make an honest buck nowadays. All because the Biden administration fucked everything up. But what's the blame? COVID. But then they also try to shift blame over to Trump too. You know, they try to shift blame over to Trump. And Trump hasn't been in office in 3.5 years, people. Almost 4 years he hasn't been in fucking office. But Trump's still to blame. So now that the news had come out, now if Trump wasn't running, okay, if Trump wasn't running for this year, everybody would have been like, okay, now our focus is going to be on Robert Kennedy. Our focus is going to be on DeSantis. The focus, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nobody wants Trump in office because they know Trump gets the job done. Trump knows everybody. Why do you think between the years of 2016 and 2020, there have been no wars? There have been no outbreaks. And if North Korea, you know, they tried to fire fucking missiles across the fucking sea a couple times, you know what? Trump was there to shut them down. He shut that shit down, man. He said, you keep doing it, find that fuck around and find out what happens. And that was the end of that. We had no wars. People were living an affordable, easy life. Gas was around $2 or under $2 a gallon and shit. People were loving it. But the people that were hating it, were the liberal, left, woke, retarded fuckers, facts of life. They were hating it. They were hating that we didn't go to war. They were hating the way we were living. Trump's a racist. He wants to build a wall down there to block out Mexico. They can't come across the border. There's a reason why he put the border up to begin with. Because what are we dealing with right now? We have a severe influx of people flooding into this country illegally. Some of them are criminals. Some of them are drug lords. These people are going to be killing Americans within this year, if they haven't already done so. You got the fucking politicians in New York that are like, let them through, let them through. We will house them, let them through. Guess what? You got too many on your plate, son. Now you want to bitch and complain. There's too many illegals crossing the border. We gotta do something. Yeah. If y'all listen to fucking Trump, you wouldn't have this shit. Trump wasn't trying to keep illegals out, period. If you wanted to come into America, you had to do it the legal way. There's a process to becoming an American, no matter where you're coming from. That's how things have always been. It wasn't just about you coming over here in a boat, seeing the Statue of Liberty for the first time, be like, This is it, Mom, Pa. We're going to be Americans. You have to go through a process to become a legal American. Because we got to know who's coming in this country. We got to know. Let's say Osama bin Laden. Let's say he sailed over here when he was alive. And he was just living here. Nobody knew who the fuck he was. And we wouldn't know who the fuck he was. There would have been all these terrorist attacks within the fucking country. And then we would find out, okay, who is it? Osama bin Laden. Who the fuck is that? Who didn't check him in at customs? Why isn't he on our list? We let a fucking known terrorist come into the country? That's why we have systems like this, people. But all these young folk, all these Gen Z retarded little bitches who complain about working an 8-hour day, they're the ones complaining about it. They're like, we can't keep them out. Let them in. Oh, you're all racist. Oh, this is racist. That's racist. Oh, I want to cancel you. Yeah. This is the mentality that's going to be running this country when we're all dead. People like me, people like you, anybody who was born in the 80s, the 70s, 60s, 50s, whatever. If you're still alive, guess what? These are the kind of people that's going to kill you. These are the kind of people that are determining your future right now. And they're changing it. These people are changing your futures with their ideology. How are they doing so? Well, half of them who are men want to be women. Half of them who are women want to be men. None of them want to work a full-time 40-hour-a-week job. They all apparently believe in war. Or maybe they don't believe. Well, they won't believe in war until they'll believe in war until the draft kicks in. Now, I understand under the Constitution and all, it is illegal for the president to decide to bring back the draft. That was laid into law many, many, many decades ago. They're not allowed or not supposed to draft people. But let's say Biden had his way. Let's say for whatever reason, the election this year was rigged again, and Biden got it again. Let's say they brought the draft back. A lot of these young motherfuckers, they're going to be against Biden. Those who are for Biden right now, they're going to be against Biden at the end of the year. They'll be like, oh no, this motherfucker, we voted for this motherfucker, but he wants to put me over there in war? No, we got to get him out of here. We got to get him out of here. No, guess what? You shut the fuck up and sit in your corner. Take it in the ass like a man or a woman you are. Because this is exactly what you voted for. This is exactly what you wanted. You wanted this person to take office. You wanted to keep Trump out of there. God damn if Trump ever got into office again. But I look at people like that. And I say, you know what? What if I don't vote? What if I decide the election is rigged? I'm not going to vote. You're not going to tell me that I don't have a say in what goes on. You don't tell me I don't have a right to an opinion when it comes to politics. No. I have every right to complain, whether I vote or not. You, on the other hand, if you vote for Biden, and Biden completely fucks everything up the way he has, and then you finally realize it, and you start doing a 180 on it, as soon as you start to complain, that's when I got the right to say, you shut the fuck up, take it in the ass like a man or a woman you are, and accept it. You wanted this shit, you eat it. You have no right to complain about it because this is what you voted for. This is what you fucking wanted. You wanted a senile, dementia-ridden old motherfucker in office who sniffs kids for a living. You wanted that. You eat it. Don't go fucking telling me that I don't have a right to an opinion. No, I can complain. I didn't vote for the motherfucker. He fucked the country up. I didn't vote for him. I have every right to fucking complain. You don't, because this is what you wanted. And you still got a lot of motherfuckers out there that believe that he's doing a good job. What good job? All fucking lies. Just like under Obama. All fucking lies. I remember talking to somebody one time, and I mentioned this before on the show. I remember talking to somebody when Obama got his second term. All right? And I would vote for the other guy. I don't even remember who the fuck it was. I was going to vote for the other guy, right? This guy's like, well, Obama had 4 years, and he had a whole bunch of stuff piled up on him. Maybe it takes 2 terms. No. As soon as he got into office, he could have done something. He could have really pushed to get shit to be the way that it should have, right? But you're going to sit there and tell me that he didn't have long enough term to do everything that he should have? No, he had 4 fucking years to do everything. Yes, time is money, but if he would have stopped golfing, if he would have stopped hanging in the hoods, getting jiggy with it and shit, Obama could have probably did something. But he did nothing. What did he do? Implement a healthcare system that fucked a lot of people over. His healthcare system was purely flawed. Even though some people praised it. Thank God for Obamacare. Thank God for Obamacare. Yeah. At what cost, though? At what cost to our country, to our people? Hell, I even remember a time where they said, you don't have health care, it's going to come right out of your taxes. They're going to take it right out of your taxes. You're going to pay heavily for it. So, my personal right, if I choose not to have health care, now granted, everybody gets sick, shit happens to people nowadays, but you're going to tell me that if I can't afford health care, if I can't find a means to obtain health care in a certain way, you're going to find me around tax time when I file taxes? Shit, what if I don't have a job? What if I'm homeless? They never thought about the homeless people. Homeless people don't have health insurance. They always talked about helping out the homeless. We got to get the homeless cleared off the streets. Look at California. Downtown Los Angeles, San Francisco, whatever. Look at their homeless. All because of Biden. All because of the Democrats. Look at all those people homeless. Where are they at? They're on your popular streets, turning it into a complete shithole. My God, Los Angeles is turning into fucking Curtis Bay, Maryland. Holy shit. Boy, ain't that going to put a fucking damper on y'all's property values out there, right? But it's all because of Biden. All because of Biden. This year is going to be the year of the fucked up cat. Year of the cat. Because right now they're doing everything that they can to damage Trump's credibility. To damage his image. And you know what? Trump's a big boy. Trump's a man. Trump has taken every hit which way he can. And he's still standing tall. That is a man that I can respect. Is he really good with politics? Maybe not. He's good as a financial advisor. He's good with finances. He's good with money. And this has been said by even some people who supported Trump back in 2016, you know? He's not very good with words when it comes to politics, you know, because the way he went at Hillary, he should have been more focused on what to do for the country, but instead he was attacking Hillary. Now, yes, you campaign with her, you debate with her, but you don't want to attack her. Now, somebody like Joe Biden, shit, you don't need to attack Joe Biden. Everybody roasts the fuck out of him. Biden roasts the fuck out of himself. Everybody sees what a fucking idiot Biden was and still is. Trump didn't need to go on the attack. He stayed on the defense. But like right now, okay, the 4 years that Trump was in office, he did a lot of good. Yes, there were some things that he did was shady or questionable. I will agree. But other than that, y'all have to admit, did any wars break out in those 4 years? No. Did we have any terroristic attacks anywhere? We might have had one or two, but some of them, they weren't made public news. But now all of a sudden, you know, Biden's in office. Now we got issues with Russia and Ukraine. Russia's invading Ukraine. Ukraine's fighting back. You got this terrorist group, Hamas, attacking Israelis. They're fighting back. And then you all want to support the fucking terrorists and shit. And Biden's sending all of our fucking money to Ukraine. Biden's sending all of our fucking money across seas that could help this country out. But y'all like, no, we gotta help the Ukrainians. We gotta help Ukraine. Why the fuck are we helping Ukraine? Give me a reason why we're helping Ukraine. Because we get resources from them? We get our grain from them? Our bread? Or whatever else we get from them? Shit that we can produce here in the fucking country. Shit we can produce here in the fucking country, and you want to cry over the Ukraine. You want to cry. You want to support the Ukraine. Fuck the Ukraine. Fuck them. You know the only reason I believe that Biden's sending our money to the Ukraine is because his beautiful little baby boy son lives over there. You know, the one that's so perfect. Yeah, the one that they tried to put charges on. But no, he got out of it. He got indicted. Yeah. That's where all our money's going. Right into the Biden's pocket. For a little baby boy. Yeah, that's where it's going. I don't give a shit about Ukraine. I don't give a shit about the Bidens. If you were any kind of president at all, you would listen to the people. You would help your own people out before you help out people that are stuck in war or that are terrorists. What did he do over there in what was it, Iraq or Afghanistan 3 years ago? Trump was going to pull our soldiers out, but he was going to do it properly. He was going to do it the proper way. But Trump never got around to it. Biden? Nope, everybody leave. Let's go. Just, let's go. That sick, pedophilic, sorry son of a bitch left 13 of our people behind to die. And then he lied about it. Biden lied, 13 died. And not only that, many of the people in that country died to terrorist attacks. And he even left behind hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of military weaponry and equipment. So those terrorists now own that equipment. Those terrorists now own those weapons. Our weapons. They gave us a big fucking thank you to Biden. Hey, thanks for leaving us this shit. Now we can take over the country. Yeah, thanks a lot, Biden, until another 9/11 happens. You're not going to save it. You just doomed us all. You're getting us all prepped to die. That's what Biden's doing. It's fucking sick and twisted. And people support this. People fucking support this. It is fucking sick. Because it's not happening in the country. War's not happening in the country. Yeah, we're going fucking bankrupt. The price of food is skyrocketing again. The price of gasoline is skyrocketing again. But at least one good thing that's coming out of all this. They want to try to get us into electric vehicles by 2027 or whatever it is. Guess what? It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It's a guaranteed 100% fact. It's not going to happen because they fucked up. They thought they had resources for it. They thought they had the funding for it. No, none of it's there. It will cost this country 100 times more to keep electric vehicles running on the road for everybody than it is right now to pay out for oil, to make gasoline out of that shit, to distribute gasoline. Electric cars will cost 10 times more to maintain than it will a regular automobile that runs on gas. It's never going to happen. That's one good thing we got going for us, guys. I'll be right back.
More Clarissa, more Snick after this.
It's not that I want to see other people, it's just...
You deserve better than me.
It's that old saying.
I want to let you be free.
If you love a butterfly, set it free.
Go.
And if it comes back...
If there was a word between friend and boyfriend, like...
Casual.
Friend of boy. Really good friends.
Every Eastpak backpack comes with a lifetime guarantee, provided you can handle the commitment.
Everything's going to be the same, only we're just not going to kiss. Okay?
Let me see. I love video scavenger hunts. Let's roll. Spotted dog, twins, rock group headstand.
Got it.
Twins? Well, I always see twins at McDonald's. Oh. Big spotted dog. Hey, a rock group works for me. Red convertible. I always see red convertible at McDonald's. Hey, we're doing good. We're doing great.
Look, twins.
Not anymore. I knew we'd find everything at McDonald's. So why don't you say something?
There are a lot of magazines out there that take sides. What we do is take pictures. Life, it's what you make of it.
An important message for anyone interested in discovering a multicultural world. It's now available with nothing lost in translation. Life, it's what you make of it.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Tune In Live. Like I said before, Discord is open. If you guys want to join on the show, be sure to hop into Discord. Voice chat the general. We are taking guys, taking co-hosts, taking gals, whatever. Trying not to sound gay and stuff. Woo! I guess I got a little bit heated that first half hour, huh? Damn. But it's all true. All of that is true. And it's leading up to something even more hot. Even more hot, but I really want to get into this. And I'm going to get into this article right here, okay? This is hilarious. And this only happened last night. I'm glad it's something fresh and new, guys. I'm glad it's fresh and new because you ain't going to believe this shit. I don't know if y'all tuned into Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. TikTok, oh my God. TikTok is fucking ridiculous. Let me tell you. And I know people will do anything to get views on there. But I don't believe in posting a video that is giving out false information, especially when you're going to get called out on it. But there's so many false videos right now on this topic. And I want to get into it. This is from NBCMiami.com. And yes, it's coming from Miami. This is published yesterday. No aliens, UFOs, or ETs. Police clear up social media speculation after the viral Bayside brawl. I'm going to go out on a whim here, all right? And I've mentioned this before on the show. Look, first and foremost, there are other species out there in the universe. There are. No matter who you are, no matter what you believe, we are not the only living, breathing beings in this galaxy, in this universe. We are not the only beings. Yes, I know we've made movies and TV shows about visiting other planets and visiting other humanoid creatures from outer space, and we call them aliens. Yeah, aliens is somebody from a foreign place. It's a term. It means foreigner. But then somewhere, there are foreigners as well. I'll be right back.
Nick is kids.
Roundhouse and the Big Orange Couch will snick again after this.
You know that Nick is kids, but now Nick is more kids. Because on September 1st, 1993, Nickelodeon will hit the airwaves of the United Kingdom, where they talk like this. So kids over there will have a channel just like you do, and a place to call their own. It's just the beginning of a new Nick world, where one day, no matter how you speak or where you live, if you're a kid, you'll have the inalienable right to Nickelodeon, even if you live out of this world. Nickelodeon, the first planetary channel for kids.
Hey, the way you help out around the house, like weed the garden, you deserve a good time. That's why every day Pizza Hut has...
All right, now I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take another quick break right there. So yeah, anyway, as I was stating, aliens do exist. And I'm not just talking about aliens like, yes, you know, Mexicans are aliens. Anybody from a foreign country is aliens. Whether you're from Ukraine, Afghanistan, anywhere in Africa, Europe, whatever, Mexico, South America, you're an alien to this country, whereas we're aliens to your country. Whereas in this universe, we are aliens to somebody else's planet, you know? But there are beings out there. There are other beings out there. We may not have seen them. We may not have heard them. But there are beings out there in the universe other than us. We are not the only living, breathing beings in this lifetime. We're not. Are we going to meet aliens in our lifetime? Probably not. Probably not. When you hear somebody on the news, and this was last year, remember last year when somebody in Congress or whoever it was like, aliens exist, we got them at Area 51, that is right. Like, who the fuck cares? Who honestly cares? We know aliens exist. We know you all know that aliens exist. Do we care? No. Shit, if we met one, we probably shit our pants, but hey, they exist. It's not something that we made up. Little moon men that are fucking green with big heads and shit, you know? So let's talk about this article here. Fresh out of Miami. A now viral video shows the heavy police presence at Miami's Bayside Marketplace on New Year's Day. This happened on New Year's Day. This happened 6 days ago, guys. This ain't fairly new, but this is the first time I heard about it. Was last night. Police confirmed that they were responding to a large fight that broke out among a group of teenagers, which resulted in multiple arrests on Monday. However, some users have taken to social media to share theories of whether something more was going on to spark such a large fleet of officers. Jesus fucking Christ. let me tell you a quick story. All right. And this is true. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I pulled security work a few years ago at a motel in Hanover, Maryland. I pulled security work. You wouldn't think a motel would need security, right? Well, you would be surprised. Motels, there's a lot of shit that goes down in motels. A lot of shit that I have seen. A lot of shit that I've dealt with. Whether it be drug related, alcohol related, fights breaking out, whatever. Mostly it was parties with a lot of young people. At motels, they have limits as to how many people can be in a room due to the fire code. You know, when the fire department comes out, you know, does their monthly or yearly checks on everything. They have a code and they tell them you can have no more than 4 or 5 people in a room. If you do, it's a violation. And the motel can get fined for that. So, there have been several parties that I have broken up at this motel. And let me tell you, one of them in particular, I actually had to go to court for as a witness. This room, there was like 20 fucking kids in there. 20 kids in this small ass motel room. Smoking it up, jointing it up, drinking it up. They had alcohol, they had fucking marijuana, cigarettes, all kind of shit. Some of them were hanging out on the goddamn balcony, and we were getting noise complaints. First time I went up, I said, guys, look, keep the noise down. I'm being real, you know, I'm trying to look out for everybody, but if y'all going to continue with the noise, then we're going to have to kick y'all out. And the one guy, I guess he was trying to be the reason, you know, the reasoning, you know, the one that reasons with people, you know, the one that has a brain or tries to grow a brain with everything. You know, oh yeah, we'll keep it down, we'll keep it down. Hey guys, keep it down, da 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 da. You know, I go back, and then we get more complaints within like a 20-minute period. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna fucking waste my time. I called the police. So I waited for one cop to come out. And while he was waiting for backup, I took him up to where the room was. These guys hanging on the balcony, they saw me coming. And he started calling back into the room. Hey guys, keep it down. I said, nah, not this time, man. I'm sorry. We keep getting more complaints about the noise. You guys gotta leave. There was even one of them that was trying to bribe me and shit. I was like, no, you're not gonna bribe your way out of this. Y'all need to leave. So the cop, he looks in there, and he's assessing the situation. He sees all these young people in there. He smells the weed. He sees the booze. And I'm telling everybody, pack your shit, get out. Don't worry about the trash. Housekeeper will clean it up. There's one kid in particular. I don't know what went through his mind. The cop was telling them all not to leave because he was going to question them all, I guess. You know, he's going to take inventory, I guess, or whatever. But this young kid thought he was going to go grow a brain and run, right? The cop goes chasing after him. Now, we're on the second level. This is one of those outdoor motels. This is a red roof, you know? This is where the doors to the motel on the outside, you know? It's not some fancy Holiday Inn or anything like that. You know, we're on the outside. So the cop goes chasing this kid, and I'm standing up there. I'm telling people, get your stuff, get out. Enough's enough. And it's always stressful, but also scary at the same time to deal with a big crowd like that in a small gathering like that, you know, a small area. But they all listen. But at the same time, I got this cop chasing this kid down the ground level. And then he comes right back up, runs right past us, and the cop stops him in the breezeway, which is, you know, halfway in the building where the stairs are and shit. And then this whole crowd comes bolting out the room, going down to where they're at. And I managed to get the door closed. after all that. I got the keys and everything. And all I kept hearing these kids was, yo, man, don't hit him. Don't hit him. Dude, chill out. Chill out, man. Just chill out. Now, coming off of the whole thing with like Freddie Gray and all that shit that was going on back then, you know, quote unquote police brutality against young black youths. And I'm thinking, oh, Christ, please tell me this cop is not doing something to this kid. Because the majority of the whole crowd was black. They were all young black kids. And the cop was white. And I'm thinking, oh, Christ, please don't let this be one of those fucking incidents. And I make my way down to the crowd. And the cop's got the kid's hands behind his back. He's trying to cuff him. The fucking kid's flailing all over the place. And everybody's trying to chill their buddy down. You know, they're not talking to the cop. They're talking to the friend. Like, dude, chill out. Stop. Let him do his job. Just chill, man. You're making it worse on yourself. And I'm standing there telling everybody that they need to leave. I'm like, fuck you, fuck you. I was like, hey, I'm looking out for you all. I'm telling you all, get the fuck out of here before backup shows up, or you're all going to leave in the cop car. You know? And yeah, some of them fucking videotaping the shit and all. And I'm like, just leave. Just leave. They wouldn't listen, but luckily by that time, backup arrived. 3 cops come up that motherfucking stairs to help the guy. And everybody started fucking scattering like roaches. Then I had a couple of the young girls saying, oh, we forgot this in the room. I said, okay, who forgot what? There was only 2 or 3 girls. And I said, y'all follow me. The rest of y'all leave. So I took the girls down. I let them in. And I said, don't worry about any trash. Housekeeping will get it in the morning. Just take what you take, you know, grab whatever you're getting, and just go. They got their stuff, and they left out. As soon as I walked downstairs, let me tell you, as soon as I fucking walked downstairs, now this road that this motel was on, it's not a long strip, but it's kind of a long strip because you can see down around the bend and up the road. It's a business park area. You got a motel, you got a restaurant right next door across the street. You got a temp agency company building that's like fucking 10 stories high. And then, you know, further on up the road is, you know, a bunch of little warehouses and shit. So it's a business park. And let me tell you, looking up and down the road from one end to another was literally lined up with cop cars. I shit you not. They even had the dogs there. They had the canine unit there. I thought they were going to have SWAT there too. That's how out of hand this shit was. It was 20-some kids in one fucking room I was trying to clear out. And one kid gave this one cop issues. And all of these cop cars lined up the fucking road, man. I was trying to count them. I lost count after about 15. They had the entrance blocked. They had the road blocked off. It was insane for this one kid. And I walked past the cop car where he had him against the car, and the kids yelling, yeah, bring them all on. I love it. All these fucking pigs. Bring them all on. The more the better. You know, that kind of thing, you know? So I go into the front lobby, and the desk clerk is telling me, we got noise complaints out there. I say, yeah, it's getting handled now. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Let me tell you, that was a very fucking stressful night. Had the cop coming in there. He's getting, you know, he's taking down my statement. I told him what all happened from my point of view. He got my information. I got his information for a report. He got the front desk clerk's information. I was filling out a lengthy report. And I was supposed to get off around 2 o'clock, I think it was, around that time, 2 or 3 o'clock. And I didn't get out of there till like maybe 45 minutes after my shift had ended, you know, because I'm sitting there filling reports out. I'm telling the desk clerk what's going on. She couldn't believe it. I'm like, yeah, all of this shit, you know, one little party, they couldn't leave. And then one kid at this party, he had to be the biggest fuck up of all. He had to fuck it up for everybody. It was fucking insane to see how many cop cars were out there. But then I even asked the cop that first came on. after he got him in the cruiser. And I asked him, I said, off the record, what did he do that elevated that shit? And he said, well, when I tried to apprehend him down on the ground level, he punched me in the face. Well, yes, that will do it. Assaulting a police officer. But then he was like, I gotta go back to the woods and find my flashlight because I chucked my flashlight at him. I was like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, this one kid. And he got off, of course. He got off. So I went to court the first time for him. Kid never showed up. Second time, went to court. Both the kid and the cop showed up. This was like the week of Thanksgiving. And I'm talking with the state's attorney. And he turned around and he asked me questions about the case. And I told him what had happened. And he said, so you didn't witness anything? I was like, no, I was on the second level. They were on the ground level with all that happened. I was trying to clear a room out. So he went back to discuss it with the other attorney present. And he looked at me and said, okay, you can go if you want. I mean, you can stay if you want, but you're free to go. I said, okay. So I fucking left. I wasn't going to stay for any of that shit. I did not want to fucking be there, especially a second time. But let me tell you, an incident like that, over one fucking person requiring 20, maybe more police cars and a fucking K9 unit, that was something that I've witnessed in my life. This here, going back to this whole incident with Miami, and they're talking about, where was it at? Some users taking it to the social media would share theories about whether something more was going to spark such a large fleet of officers. Let me tell y'all something. That happens. I just told you a story what happened to me. So it does happen. Some things like that will require more than just 2 officers backing someone up. If they need a fucking army to stop a fight, then that's what it's going to take. Because you don't know how much more violent it can get. You don't know how much more a situation like that, how further it can escalate. 2 or 3 police officers, shit, they're going to be dead by the time anything happens. You're going to need a hell of a lot more than just 2 or 3 cops, you know? But going back to this article. So, according to the arrest report, the teens were also lighting loud fireworks, which caused panic among patrons in a mall. The chaos also disrupted and damaged local businesses. There you go. These idiotic young teens today thinking they can get away with stupid shit, especially if they're trying to do it for a TikTok video. Let's make a TikTok video burning a building down. You're a fucking retard. You know that? Your parents, your mommy and daddy didn't love you enough to beat the fuck out of you when you were 8 years old. You know what a lot of our daddies and mommies had to go through growing up when they were bad? They got the switch. They got a switch off a tree, which a stick off a tree, or they got the belt. That's what these kids today need. They need a good discipline. But then they cry, it's child abuse, it's child abuse. It's only child abuse if we leave handprints on your ass. It's child abuse if you're bleeding, bruised, or broken. It's not child abuse if I beat your ass for lighting a fire somewhere. It's not abuse if I beat your ass if you do anything out of line. That you're gonna get a lesson out of it. But usually parents punish their kids nowadays by taking away their tablets and their cell phones and their video game systems. That's their punishment. They don't get an ass beating that hurts, but that's not going to leave a fucking mark. If you take away a kid's electronics, oh my fucking God. That's the absolute worst for kids today. That is a sad, sickening thing for kids. That their only punishment is taking away their electronics. And then what's going to happen? I've seen videos of what happens. Kids go on a fucking rampage in the house, knocking TVs off of fucking shelves and shit. flipping tables, breaking stuff. And then the parents are in the background, oh my God, why did you do that? Please don't do that. Please stop. I don't know what's into him. You bend that little motherfucking bastard over. You pull his fucking pants down and you beat that little motherfucker's ass. Don't beat him till he's bleeding. But that's what you do. Don't just take away his cell phone, his Xbox, his tablet, his computer. You turn his fucking ass over and you beat his ass. You know what I got when I was a kid? I got the hand. I got the belt. My mom used a fucking plastic cooking spoon. Those things leave a good sting on your ass. But that's what these kids need. It's not abuse. It's called tough love. We want our kids to do better. We want our kids to know respect. You're not showing your kids respect. You're not teaching them to be respectful. You're not teaching them to be good. If you're just taking away their electronics and letting them take their anger out on shit. Sit them in a fucking corner for an hour. Tell them if they move, you're going to beat their ass. That's what kids today need. Because I tell you, if these kids today got a proper ass beating growing up, you wouldn't have shit like this. With teenagers lighting off loud fireworks. And outside a fucking mall. Outside a mall. Which caused chaos. That disrupted and damaged local businesses. I don't really just blame the kids. I blame the parents. If you were a proper parent, you would have disciplined these little bastards long ago. I'm not out there setting fucking places on fire. I'm not breaking and entering into fucking places. I am respectable. I'm responsible. I'm an adult. Do I play video games like Grand Theft Auto? Yes, I do. I've been playing them since high school. But you know what? I know damn well not to do the things that these kids today do. I know right from wrong. That's what I teach my kids. Right from wrong. I teach them right. Kids today, anybody else, anywhere else, shit. They don't know anything. They're not even getting proper educations in schools. These kids need punishments. They need proper punishments. I'm not talking about taking a cell phone away. I'm not talking about taking a tablet away. I'm not talking about breaking your son's Xbox. I'm not talking about taking their computers away. You look at that kid and you say, you go outside and you find the thickest fucking twig or stick on the tree and you break it off and you bring it here. Or I'm going to unravel this belt. That's what kids need. It's only abuse when you take it one step too far. Let me tell you, people like me and everybody else I know growing up, oh, they got their asses mauled. There was never bruises or blood. But just know, you may hate your parents. These kids may hate you when it happens. But in the long run, if they're smart enough, they will respect why you did it. They'll respect you for it. And they will see where you're coming from with it. Going back to this article. So kids were lighting off fireworks in the mall. patrons. This was chaos. Chaos disrupted and damaged local businesses. To put the rumors to rest, Miami police also added that there were, quote, no aliens, UFOs, or ETs. No airports were closed. There were no power outages. Because somebody in a video said, supposedly, that this blob of kids or whatever it was fighting or whatever looked like 6 to 10 foot tall aliens. Looked like aliens going down the street. Boy, people are so fucking gullible to believe any goddamn thing. People are so fucking gullible to believe it. Do I believe aliens exist? Yes, I do. There's always an explanation to something. Yes. Was there aliens involved with this incident? No. Because it's one of two things. A distraction, because the Epstein list was leaked this week. Or B, people are just idiots and are crying out for the next viral video on TikTok to see who gets the most views. Sorry, people, but there were no aliens down there in Miami the last few days. Just a fucking group of kids that needed their fucking asses bruised growing up. That's all it was. Aliens in Miami. I wish there were aliens in Miami. Maybe those aliens would come down with these big alien looking fucking belts. Beat their asses with them. That's what they need. Now let's jump from one stupid article to another stupid article. This one came out January 3rd. Oh my god. I should have covered this yesterday on Utter Random Crap. This would have been a good... If I had remembered to grab this article for yesterday. Oh, Tom would have been livid with this. He would have had a field day with this. So, anybody watching the show right now? Do you eat Reese cups? Do you eat any kind of chocolates? I've been eating Reese's for, God, 30 some years maybe? Shit, growing up. You know, Reese cups were the shit, you know? I like the old wrapping now. I don't like the way Reese cups are wrapped today, you know? Those little plastic little baggies you gotta tear open. Nah, I like the way they used to be. I like, they're still somewhat, you know, today, you know, certain packs and all, but let's get past that. So if you haven't heard about this, here's the stupidity. Hershey is a parent group, I guess, basically you could say that, you know, that makes a lot of chocolates and shit. There's a lot of different chocolate brands that come from Hershey's, and Reese's is one of them. Hershey was being sued for selling Reese's peanut butter cups without the cute little pumpkin faces on them. Jesus Christ. You know back, you know, in October, and now every holiday, and every special holiday, all these chocolate companies, all these candy companies, they come up with some little idea to be festive. You know, like at Christmas time, Reese's releases those little Christmas tree Reese cups that are in the shape of Christmas trees. And then, of course, in October for Halloween, they release the ones that look like pumpkins. But on the wrapping, it looks like a little pumpkin with a little carved face, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, hold on to this one, guys. Hold on to your asses for this one. In New York, Cynthia Kelly. We'll just call her Cunt Kelly. Cunt Kelly thought she was buying Halloween-themed Reese peanut butter pumpkins with a cute carving of the pumpkin's mouth and eyes as pictured on the product's packaging. But when she opened it, she was horrified to find that there were no pumpkin carvings at all. It was just a regular-looking piece of chocolate. Oh my fucking... I need a drink for this. I wish I had a beer. God damn. Need I say more to this other stupidity of what I'm reading? And this is actually happening, people. There is some stupid fucking person out there that is doing stupid shit like this. How many years has Reese's released these pumpkin-shaped Reese cups around Halloween time? How many years? How many years? This ain't the first fucking year. They've been out for what, 10, 20 fucking years? But apparently, Cunt Kelly here, this is her first time buying a bag of this shit, thinking, oh wow, it's gonna look like a pumpkin. Jesus Christ, this fucking cunt acts like this is the first fucking time she sees this shit. They've been releasing this shit for the last 10, 15, 20 fucking years. Jesus Christ, Pete, what the fuck? That'd be like, okay, that'd be like the Christmas ones. If they were the little chocolate Christmas tree shaped Reese cups, but with like green outlines for the garland and shit like that, all sparkly, and she opened it up and be like, what the fuck? It doesn't look like the packaging. Well, guess what, Cunt Kelly? When you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac, or you go to Burger King and you order a Whopper, and you actually get the final product, does it look exactly like it does on the fucking picture? No, it doesn't. Does it? So what makes you think? What makes you expect that somebody somewhere is like, let's carve little faces on the little pumpkins because Cynthia Kelly was complaining about it? Do you know how much more effort and work that would take? I mean, sure, a lot of these there's machineries that produce the candy, produce the chocolate. It's not all really fully man-made. A lot of it runs through a processing plant. Do you really think they're going to add a special machine that's going to poke little eyes and a mouth in the fucking cups to appease you? Jesus Christ. Let me read that again. When she opened it, she was horrified to find that there were no pumpkin carvings at all. It was just a regular looking piece of chocolate. Oh my fucking God. Now, Cunt Kelly has filed a lawsuit against Hershey, the maker of Reese's, alleging that the company falsely represented several of his holiday-themed products on packaging. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup pumpkins, white pumpkins, Pacey's pumpkins, peanut butter ghosts, white ghosts, and others. Oh, Christ. So it's not just one. She's going after others. Kelly would not have purchased the product if she knew it did not have the detailed carvings of the mouth or the eyes as pictured on the product label. Jesus fucking... I hope this lawsuit gets thrown out. Not only that, I hope she invests every single penny in her bank account into this lawsuit and she loses. I hope to Christ. This is a fucking woman that needs to be detained in a fucking cell, in a fucking paddock room for life. I'm fucking serious. That there is somebody like this. Alright, this is clearly a fucking Karen. This is clearly a Karen. Karen Kelly. Cunt Kelly. This is clearly a fucking Karen. What fucking moron would go on to file a lawsuit against one of the biggest chocolate production companies in the entire fucking country, maybe the world? You're gonna take on Hershey's because it didn't have little pumpkin faces on them. Oh my God. They've been making this shit for years, people. They've been making this shit for years. And you got a fucking Karen who's filing a lawsuit against the chocolate making company. Because I went to open it. It didn't have a little face on it. Oh my God. Oh, this is terrible. They're falsely advertising their products on the packaging. Oh, what do we do? Oh, let me get my attorney. Who was that guy that represented O.J. Simpson? Oh, I hope he's still alive. Oh my fucking God. This is sheer stupidity, people. The lawsuit filed in federal court on Florida. Okay, so the report comes from New York. But of course, it's in Florida. What did I just read that come out of Florida? Oh, the fucking UFO sightings in Miami, which turned out to be a group of fucking idiots lighting off fireworks. So you go from a group of retards in Miami to another fucking brain dead retard somewhere else in Florida. She filed in a federal court in Florida, seeks class action status. Class action status on behalf of numerous consumers who have been tricked and misled by the pictures on the product's packaging. I don't feel tricked or misled. When I open the packaging when I myself open the packaging to those scrumptious little Reese pumpkins, of course it's in the shape of a pumpkin. That's mostly what they advertise. I'm not looking for a fucking face. I'm not looking for a picture of Biden or Trump on the motherfucker. I'm not looking for it to grow fucking legs and walk away from me. I'm not expecting it to tell me the story of, it's the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I'm looking for a piece of fucking chocolate to consume. That's what I'm looking for. So how is this one stupid cunt from Florida going to sit there and say, numerous consumers, they've been tricked and misled by the pictures on the product? Oh, Jesus Christ. Hershey declined to comment to CNN on this. Oh, I wouldn't comment anything to CNN. Of course CNN would try to get their ass in there. You know, CNN follows the whole Biden shit. They support Biden. See, everybody at CNN, when Biden took office, they were all on their hands and knees. He pulled his pants down, and everybody at CNN proceeded to suck his dick, one by fucking one. That's what happened. Hey, what's going on, Hoyt? Are you getting snowed in yet? Nah, we're probably going to get a little bit of snow, but it's going to be mostly rain up here. But I tell you, though, what is it about CNN? All right, they all hate Trump. They all fucking hate Trump. But they praise Biden. That's what I was saying. They were all on their fucking hands and knees the day that Biden was sworn in. And they were all ready. They're slopping their lips. And Biden, he was being wheelchaired one by one. You know, one by one, they were slobbering all over his dick. Oh, yeah, Massa Biden. Yeah, take us to war. Oh, yeah, thank God you got Trump out of there. Yeah, that's what I feel about CNN. That's exactly how I feel about CNN. So, in this lawsuit here, Hershey declined to comment to CNN. I would, too. CNN would have turned that whole shit around. They would have. Fuck CNN. Hershey joins a growing list of food brands sued for false advertising. Oh, here we go. Including Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and Arby's. These companies use ads that don't match up with their actual food. The suit alleged. Jesus fucking... Anybody in the chat, look, listen. How many of you... Now, I shouldn't even ask that. Everybody in this country, I don't care who you are, you can sit there and say, I don't go to McDonald's, I don't buy Burger King. Bullshit. Everybody's guilty of it. I do it. Everybody's guilty of it. We've all gone to Burger King or Taco Bell or Wendy's or Hardee's or Roy Rogers. We've all been there. And for the last 30, 40 goddamn years, yes, they advertise it a certain way on their billboards. They advertise it in the commercials. But is that the final product you get? No. It's not the final product. Do you actually think that this Karen-driven lawsuit is going to change anything for Hershey's, McDonald's, Burger King, Arby's? You think it's going to change anything? It's not. Because when you get a job at McDonald's, I guarantee you, you're told how to make a hamburger, but you're not told it's not supposed to be perfect. It's not supposed to look like it does on the billboard out front. Just make it. Make it however you can. Because let me tell you something, fast food restaurants, within its title, fast food, you're expected to get your order within a fast amount of time. They're not going to sit there and perfect a fucking Whopper or a Big Mac for you. They're not going to perfectly get you a perfect looking bun that's not all squished up. You're not going to get a perfect product at a fast rate. I'm sorry, it doesn't happen. You order a fucking Big Mac, you're going to get a Big Mac. No, it's not going to look like it does on a cute and cuddly little picture to drive through. It's not going to look like that. Yes, it's going to be all squished in, but are you still going to eat it? Yes. About 99.9% of the people in this country are still going to eat the product. They don't give two fucks what it looks like. I don't care if it looks like it got shat out of a panda's ass. I'm still going to eat the motherfucker. God damn. So why are there people out there complaining about it? Like, okay, there's a movie out there, okay? It's called Falling Down. It stars Michael Douglas. Really good movie. Really fucking good movie. This is something that kind of fits, the persona of everyday working men who had it all and just snapped. There's a scene in there where he walks in to this restaurant and he wants breakfast. And they tell him, sorry, sir, we stopped serving breakfast. So then he puts a suitcase up on the counter. He asks for the manager. The manager comes over and he said, look, I was just talking to your associate. I want breakfast, but she says it ended. And he said, yeah, I'm sorry, sir. It ended like 5 minutes ago. We're on lunch now. He's like, well, then we have an issue going on here, And he goes on and on about what he wants. But then he's carrying this duffel bag full of fucking submachine guns, and he pulls one out. He's in a pissed off rage, but he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't hurt anybody. He doesn't mean to. He accidentally pulls the trigger at one point, scares himself also. But then he's like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to have lunch. I want lunch. Let me get this and let me get that. So then they serve it up to him, and he's looking at the burger. He's like, we got another problem. You see, look at that picture up there. Does it look like that? This is an issue in the country today. Da 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 da. It's hilarious. At some point in all of our lives, yes, we all come to that conclusion. We all come to that conversation where it's like, why is it that our hamburgers don't look like they do on the billboard? Why is it that our French fries aren't happily popping out of the fucking carton the way they do in the commercials? They just don't. Because it takes time to perfect something like that. You want 2 hamburgers and a medium fry. Okay, you're going to get that within a 2 to 3 minute period, especially at a drive-thru. You know how long it's going to take to perfect those burgers to make them look like they do on a fucking drive-thru? Probably about 5-10 minutes. And then they got to carefully wrap them up so they're not squishing them. They got to carefully place them in your bag so they're not being squished by everything else. That's holding you up. That's holding everybody else up. It's a fast food place. People are trained to make a burger, wrap it, send it out. That's it. Because news to you guys, news to these people that are following this lawsuit, hey, you got like 3 or 4 people handling your fucking food before it hits you. You got the people that are cooking it, the people that wrap it, the people that send it down to shoot, the people that put it in the bag, and the people that bring it to the fucking window to hand it to you or put it on your tray when you're sitting down at a Burger King or a McDonald's. You got like 3 or 4 people handling your food. So there you go. I mean, shit, you're not going to get the exact product that is advertised on a fucking sign, people. I'm sorry. But when I look at an article like this, okay, when I look at an article like this where it says that this lawsuit is including Hershey's, Taco Bell, Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and Arby's. It doesn't really boggle my mind. I'm just sitting there with this really what the truck fuck the truck look, you know, what the truck look. You know, I'm just sitting there like, what the shit is this? When I hear about something idiotic like this. The attorney for the Hershey suit, Anthony Russo, has led this effort. For a judge or a jury to side with the plaintiffs in false advertisement claims, lawyers have to successfully make the case that the ads would trick a reasonable consumer. Once again, how would an advertisement trick me into what a hamburger is supposed to look like? If I want to make a hamburger that looks like a Big Mac, all I would have to do is order the products myself and make it at home. Has anybody ever thought of doing something like that? Honestly, has anybody ever thought, you know what? McDonald's lies about how they make their burgers, about how their burgers are supposed to be looking. Why don't I just order the rolls? Why don't I just order the burgers that they use, the little ground beef patties? Or I can make patties of my own. And then I could get the lettuce, I could get tomatoes, everything fresh from a grocery store. Because let me tell you something, a pack of rolls, well, the hamburger itself, if you get a thing of hamburger, that's going to cost you nowadays like $10 maybe. Even for a fucking pack of patties. A pack of patties with like, I don't know what, 10, 15 patties in it. That's like, what, $11, $12 right there. But let me tell you something. That $11, $12 right there for those, that makes like 15 hamburgers right there. Okay. So then you get a pack of rolls. All right, let's say a pack of rolls. Depending on how cheap you are, depending on what type of bread you use, you can get a pack of rolls. Let's say it's just you eating, okay? You get a pack of 4 rolls. That's what? $2? $2 for a pack of rolls. Okay. So then you got lettuce. Do you want shredded lettuce? Do you want a head of lettuce? Lettuce is what? Another $2, maybe $3 for a head of lettuce? Or if you get a bag of lettuce, that's what? $3 right there. Okay, so you're looking at $5 for lettuce. Tomatoes. Okay, tomatoes. You can slice up your own tomatoes. Get 2 tomatoes. Tomatoes are cheap. Shit, you can get what? A pound of tomatoes for like what? $4 or $5, depending on where you go. So there you go. So you got $20 worth of food right there, right? But you can make 4 hamburgers for $20. And you still got hamburgers left over. Now, today, if you get a Big Mac meal, that's around $10. I shit you not. Today's inflation, today's Biden's inflation market, $10 for a Big Mac meal. That's the hamburger, that's the fries, that's the soda. Yes, I said soda. $10 for that. Or you can pay $20 for 2 of those, right? I just went to a grocery store. I labeled it out for you. Pack of about 10 patties, maybe. $10. The rest of the shit is under $10. So I just paid $20. I can make 4 hamburgers and still have 6 burger patties left over. All for $20. As opposed to going to McDonald's and buying 2 meals. $40. Maybe more. Well, if I want something to drink, shit, I got stuff here at home. Maybe I want to drink tap water. Or better yet, if you're somebody who drinks water, get yourself one of those Brita filters. Get a Brita filter or one of those water jugs with a Brita filter in it. Shit, there you go. You're drinking healthy. You got water. Maybe you got sodas in your fridge. Maybe you got juice. Maybe you got beer, whatever you want to fucking drink. You ain't got to worry about going out and buying drinks unless you're empty and you need some more, but whatever, you know? You can make a meal probably 30 to 40% cheaper than you can get at a McDonald's. But like I said, McDonald's, Burger King, places like that, it's all fast food. It's all fast food. You're going to get a fast service. You are looking for quality over quantity. You're not going to get the quality. Sometimes quantity is better. You want it fast. You're in a hurry. You're hungry as fuck. You're on your way home from work and the kids are screaming at home, "Daddy, I want McDonald's! I want those McNuggets! I want nuggets! Give me a Happy Meal!" Shut up, you little motherfucker! I'll take your fucking tablet and I'll beat you with a belt when I get home. You know? But that's the whole thing with fast food. If you don't feel like cooking, if you're not in the mood to cook, if there's nothing appetizing in your fridge or your freezer, what's the next thing to do? McDonald's, Burger King, if you got the money, of course. Everybody does fast food. Even if you're somebody who says you don't do it anymore, or you don't do it for reasons, don't lie. Because trust me, you do. You definitely do. What's you going live with? Podcast. Got my buddy Guardian over there in the Discord. He's asking what I'm going live with. But, oh my God. Like I said, reading this article. And you know what? I keep forgetting to do this too. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. For those of you listening, if you go under our podcast leftovers in the Discord, Tuned In Live Scraps, that is where this article is going. It is fucking ridiculous. Along with the next article that I'm going to read, which is, I can consider even more fucking ridiculous. God damn. God damn. A fucking Karen. A fucking Karen. Wanting to stir up a fucking lawsuit because little Hershey, Reese cups don't look like little pumpkins. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. This lawsuit's going to get thrown out, people. They're talking about false advertising. No judge is going to see this suit. No judge. Mind you, no judge is going to... They're going to throw this shit out. The first judge that sees it, he's going to laugh his ass off and said, "Case dismissed." Case dismissed. That's what's going to fucking happen. They're going to look at this fucking Karen Kelly. Yeah, Karen Kelly, Cunt Kelly, whatever I called her. They're going to look at her and say, "You are one stupid motherfucking bitch. You a stupid motherfucking bitch. To think that you're going to file a lawsuit against a fucking company that produces chocolate every single year for the last, 100 fucking years. Because you're not happy that there's not a little face on the pumpkins. Oh my God. Jesus. We'll be right back, guys.
Begins. Nickelodeon presents the continuing story of the kid who accidentally swung over the bar and became Inside Out Boy. We find our hero making a deposit at the local bank.
Hi.
When suddenly...
How may I?
We've got an 1150 bank robbery in progress.
Drop it, kid.
Okay. What'd I do? That's him.
No fingerprints. Very clever. Why'd you do it, kid?
I didn't. I may be wrong side out, but I always do what's right.
What about the note we found?
It's from my mom.
Please excuse Inside Out Boy from Jim. What about the disguise?
It's me, honest.
He's telling the truth. He is? Then that must mean...
Inside Out Boy. He's got a lot of what every kid's got inside.
Guts.
For more adventures, keep watching Nickelodeon.
Walt Disney presents three extraordinary friends in the popular hit movie now on video. Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey, Their Shadow. Come on, you two. Chance.
Yeah, I gotta check this out. Oh, pardon me.
And Sassy.
I prefer the dry look.
They're lost in the wilderness. But to get back home,
This is like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
they'll have to get their act together.
Now, hasta la vista, kid!
Chance, you're a genius.
You can join them on their adventure.
Yes!
Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey on video, rated G. Afraid of the dark? Stay in the glow of the couch and stay tuned.
On September 1st, 1993, kids all over the United Kingdom will see Nickelodeon for the very first time. And on this momentous day, you can watch right along with them as kids from the UK and kids from the USA join forces for the very first live simulcast of Get the Picture. Be there for the international action. Be there for the first Nick sliming on UK soil. Be there for the beginning of a new Nick world. This Wednesday at 1:30, 12:30 Central on the first planetary channel for kids, Nickelodeon.
This morning, we were regular 5th graders. Now we're heroes. It all started when we were separated from our class on a field trip. We were off goofing around when we realized we're late. We're gonna miss our bus. We knew if we missed our bus, we'd be toast. Once we saw our bus, we figured we were aces. We were wrong. How come we don't know anyone on this bus? Because that's our bus.
What bus are you boys supposed to be on?
The one that's going to McDonald's. Yeah.
Follow that bus.
Now we're famous, which is cool, because famous people never do homework.
It's
And welcome back to today's show, guys. What's going on? And of course, I come back to a fucking McDonald's commercial. I come back to a fucking McDonald's commercial after I just got done talking about this shit. Oh, the fucking irony in that. That's so fucking ironic, ain't it? Let's get into today's final topic of the show. Because everybody knows what today is. It's Insurrection Day. Fuck Insurrection Day. How the fuck is the Biden administration going to try to label today as an important day in history? Try to sit there and say that January 6th was 10 times worse than 9/11 and the Holocaust put together. How fucking dare that piece of dog shit stand up there 4 fucking years ago and say that this event was worse. Oh, it's 3 years ago. Never mind. I forgot it was 20. I thought it was 2020. It's 2021 when it happened. I'm sorry. 3 years ago. 3 fucking years ago. How's it that fucking piece of dog shit sits up there on his podium and proudly announces that January 6th was a much, much greater incident than 9/11 and the Holocaust put together? You goddamn sick piece of fucking donkey shit son of a bitch, dick sucking motherfucker, you. And these people who fucking vote for him. You all got a special place in fucking hell when he fucking goes and when you all go. You motherfuckers who voted for this piece of donkey shit, you should be fucking ashamed to be alive and breathing. You should be ashamed for having a fucking voice in politics. You should be fucking ashamed. You all voted for this piece of fucking hippo shit. You all support this piece of hippo shit. And you let him sit there. And you let him compare this tiny little fucking incident to 9/11 and the fucking Holocaust. You all are you are just equal. You are equally guilty for what has happened. And you all should be ashamed of it. Now, nobody will ever know what truly happened that day, but we do know. We do know because some of those people that were arrested, some people that we saw on social media, some of those people we saw on the news, all the fucking get-ups and all, they were all paid off by the Democratic Party. And they're all Biden supporters. They all were. Let me see. Now this is, I am fucking insulted by the publishing of this article that I'm getting ready to read. Because it's on history.com. How the fuck dare you guys? How dare you guys post the incredible fucking lies of this shit? Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. I swear it. You all should be fucking ashamed. History.com. Here's the bullshit that History.com has to put. On the afternoon of January 6, 2021, a mob of Donald Trump supporters descend on the U.S. Capitol, attempting to interfere with the certification of electoral votes from the 2020 presidential election. The rioters assaulted the Capitol police force and ransacked the complex, destroying property and sending members of Congress and their staff into hiding in offices and bunkers. A protester who was shot by police died, and approximately 140 members of law enforcement were assaulted. At noon on January 6, a rally on the Eclipse 1 mile from the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Trump claimed election fraud and called on Vice President Mike Pence to overturn the 2020 election results by refusing to certify certain electoral votes. And you know what? Trump was right. There was election fraud. There was. A lot of those votes for Trump, which were paper votes, by the way, remember in 2020? They didn't want you at the polls. Oh, no. They didn't want you at the polls because of COVID. Because of COVID. They didn't want you at the polls. They mailed you these ballots. They said, fill these ballots out and mail them in. A lot of them that were for Trump, over the last few years, they were found in landfills and shit. They were found. Sabotaged. Yeah. That was their whole big setup. Use COVID as an excuse to keep people from going out to vote. Send them paper ballots. Take all the ones from Trump. Trash them. And I guarantee you that's exactly what's going to happen again this year. They're going to come up with some new fucking virus that they're going to push out on people to where, mask up again. We got to mask up again. We got to get another 10 vaccines. We can't go out and vote in public, but you can vote online. You can vote. No, that's not going to fucking happen because the American people are done with your excuses. They're done with your lies. It's not going to fucking happen. People are going to go out and vote on your machines. But they'll find a way to fuck them up too. Find a way. Trust me. Near the conclusion of his speech, several thousand attendees began marching toward the U.S. Capitol, where a crowd has assembled and was clashing with police by two... I can't read the rest of this. This is all fabricated. This is all bullshit. This is not exactly what happened. That's not what happened. Okay. January 6 riots. Fuck history.com. Fuck history. Alright? That's all fabricated lies. But here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. I'm looking at other articles here. And they all edited this motherfucker. They all edited it. All these articles were edited to make Trump to be the bad guy. Because I'm seeing January 6th, Donald Trump. January 6th, Donald Trump. January 6th, Donald Trump. Here's one from, this is from the New York Times. Yeah, New York Times is very fucking liberal. But here we go. This one talks about, all right, this is, all right, nah, never mind. This was updated January 6, 2022, a year later. So anytime I see articles like this that are published and then they're updated, yes, this has fabricated information in it. So if it's updated a year later, that means that they given false information to it. That's exactly what happened. Because this one says, in 6 months since the angry pro-Trump mob stormed the U.S. Capitol, immense efforts have been made not only to find the rioters and to hold them accountable, but also, and perhaps more important, to dig into the details of January 6th and slowly piece together what actually happened that day. Congressional committees have looked into police and intelligence failures. The Justice Department had launched a nationwide investigation that has now resulted in more than 500 arrests. And while Republicans in Congress blocked the formation of a blue ribbon bipartisan committee, House Democrats are poised to appoint a smaller select committee. Even now, however, Republican politicians and their allies in the media are still playing down the most brazen attack on the seat of power in modern American history. Some have sought to paint the assault as a work of mere tourists. Others, going further, have accused the FBI of planning the attacks and what they have described widely as a false flag operation. Now, didn't they just come out recently and said that the FBI did have a hand in that? They just came out this year, or no, not this year, last year. They came out last year and said the FBI had a hand in it. Here it is 2 years ago. They said they didn't. The work of understanding January 6th is hard enough without this barrage of disinformation, and hoping to get to the bottom of the riot, the Times Visual Investigations team spent several months reviewing thousands of videos, many filmed by rioters themselves and since deleted from social media. We filed motions to unseal police body cam footage, scoured law enforcement radio communications, and synchronized and mapped the visual evidence. Now, listen to that real quick. Again, filmed by many rioters themselves and since been deleted from social media. So, what do you got to hide for it to be deleted from social media? If Trump honestly and seriously ordered this mob to go to DC and storm it, if there's proof, quote unquote, proof of this information, and it's been videotaped, why was it deleted? All these fucktards who want to pin this shit on Trump and Trump supporters are quick to delete these videos, aren't they? They're quick to delete this shit from social media. So somebody caught something somewhere that wasn't Trump related, but it got taken down or it got deleted. And that's exactly what has happened with a lot of this information. What we have come up with is a 40-minute panoramic take on January 6th. The most complete visual depiction of the riot, Capitol riot to the date. And putting it together, we gain critical insights into the character and motivation of rioters by experiencing the events of the day, often through their own words and video recordings. We found evidence of members of extremist groups inciting others to riot and assault police. And we learned how Donald Trump's own words resonated with the mob in real time as they staged the attack. All right, so I am not going to read this. I'm not. It's all bullshit. It's all fabricated. If I want the truth, I'll get it from another source. Trump on January 6th. If we gotta fucking listen to it, then we will. Let's see. 3rd anniversary of the Capitol riots. Most Americans still blame Trump for the violence. U.S. Supreme Court to hear Trump's Colorado thing. Biden slams Trump. Fuck Biden. So let's see. Let's see what this is at now. Okay, did Trump actually incite this? I want to hear the words from the man himself. Let's see.
It is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
So right there, he wasn't talking about storming the Capitol. He was talking about a protest to the Capitol on this whole electoral vote shit. It was a protest. People have a right to protest peacefully, no matter where you are. No matter where you are. It's in the Constitution. It's your amendment rights. You have a right to protest, but you do not have a right to riot. Look at the Black Lives Matter bullshit. Were they protesting? About 90% of them were not protesting. In fact, what were those motherfuckers doing? Black Lives Matter? Defacing our properties with bullshit. Destroying businesses. Burning businesses to the ground. Assaulting police officers. That's not a protest. That's a riot. Those are criminals. I don't give a fuck if they're black, blue, white, yellow, pink. You also have white people there doing it too. Whites and blacks and all. Anybody who supported the fucking terroristic movement, Black Lives Matter. They were all there. They were destroying businesses. They were assaulting our law enforcement. They were defacing property. That's a riot. Those are criminals. What Trump just said here, he's talking about peacefully protesting down to the Capitol. Peaceful protest. And these Democrats, they knew. They knew they were coming. So they set something up to make it look like that Trump and all his supporters were going to storm the Capitol, take it back. That's how they made it look like. They turned him into a fucking terrorist, in their words. They twisted Trump's word. Let me play that again. Let me play that again for y'all who may not have a single brain cell in your brain who's triggered by this, if you're listening to it in the after effect. Let me play this again for you. Let me know if this has anything to do with insurrection.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this egregious assault on our democracy. And after this, we're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down anyone you want, but I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them. Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong.
And of course, I'm reading through the comments section of this now. And somebody did say, because this was posted by NBC News on YouTube. And somebody had posted, you skipped the most important part that cut off right at the end. You know, where he said to march to the Capitol to peacefully and patriotically make our voices heard. That I do remember. So you even got NBC News, liberal news, cutting out important pieces of his speech and try to say that he caused an insurrection. He told his people, his followers, his supporters, we're going to march down there peacefully and patriotically to make your voices heard. So they turn everything against Trump. Every which way they can. Let me look up, what does insurrection mean? Does anybody even know what insurrection means? A violent uprising against an authority or government. What the history of the word insurrection says about January 6th. Ever since the mostly white mob stormed, notice how this is from Time.com, Time magazine. Notice how the first statement says mostly white mob. You can already tell that this is going to be a racial article. And if you guys want to read this insane piece of fucking garbage for yourselves, I'm going to put it under the tune in live scraps. There you go. Ever since the mostly white mob stormed the U.S. Capitol after attending a Trump-headlined Stop the Steal rally on January 6, 2021, there has been an ongoing and heated debate over whether to call the event an insurrection. This much is undisputed. Hundreds of rally attendees, some armed with metal flagpoles, baseball bats, pepper spray, and stun guns, smashed their way into the Capitol building and loitered the halls, splintering off into to rummage through the offices or maraud an empty chamber of Congress. 5 people died on that day as a result of the clash between the crowd and the Capitol Police, and at least 140 were reportedly injured. However, the interpretation of those facts has largely diverged into polar opposites. So, 5 people died that day, remember? So when it comes to the Biden administration, the Democrats, the leftists, I guess they figure sometimes a sacrifice has to be made in order to get a point across to somebody, right? So you kill off your own to blame the opposite party just so something can happen to them. Get them out of your hair. Now we control the country. But guess what? Trump is fighting back with everything that he has. He's fighting back and people are hating it. And I'm loving it. An insurrection, by definition, is a violent uprising against an authority or government. So I suppose with the Second Amendment, since the government is becoming too powerful, as our forefathers have proclaimed, if ever the government is ever too strong, we have the right to bear arms and go against the government and overthrow them. So if we tried to overthrow our government for being too powerful, which they are, we would cause an insurrection. Is that what they're saying? We'd be causing an illegal insurrection if we overthrew our government. Governments lie to you people. They pay organizations off to lie to you. Why do you think the media is the way they are? They only report on certain things because they're being paid to report on certain things. Sweep everything else under the rug. The government pays everybody off, no matter what. If you're against them, if you report against them, guess what? You're an enemy too. I'll be right back.
kids. The whole wide world is whining for Wienerville. Nickelodeon Wienerville. What are they whining for? They're whining for the cartoons. They're whining for the head puppets.
Somebody feed me!
They're whining to watch real kids get wienerized. They're whining for Nickelodeon Wienerville, the only show worth whining for, every Sunday starting at 2/1 Central on Nickelodeon.
Saturday night has arrived, and Saturday night belongs to Slick. Stay tuned.
Herman Badillo came to New York City at the age of 10. He was an orphan. He went through our city schools.
And we are back, guys, to finish off this article, to finish off everything else. So, as I'm still trying to look through to find Trump's speech about everything, there's even live coverage from 2 years ago about the insurrection. 11 hours long. The mob storms the Capitol. That's gotta be sickening, right? Oh, sickening for a lot of places. But all I see here is President Biden. Biden. We nearly lost America 19 hours ago. Biden said we nearly lost America. Yeah, we nearly lost America. We lost America the day that Biden got sworn in. That was the day we lost America. I'm not going to continue reading these disgusting articles. Disgusting articles. Oh, wait. Here's one that I was just talking about, part of this article that I shared with you guys from Time. Let me get to this. Let's see. Let me read this. Where was it? Although the word insurrection was not technically defined in the text of the act, it is effectively defined in the practice. From Nat Turner's rebellion to pro and anti-slavery clashes over whether territorial Kansas would become a free state or free or slave state, to the Detroit riots of 43 and 67, to the desegregation of public schools in Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi, to the march of civil rights protesters in Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, to the LA riots in 92, the extraordinary presidential power to domestically deploy federal troops under the Insurrection Act has largely been invoked and either suppress or to either suppress uprisings against racist systems on the one hand, or enforce the civil rights of black Americans on the other. That President Trump threatened to invoke the act in response to the nationwide Black Lives Matter demonstrations over George Floyd's killings is only the most recent extension of this pattern. You know what? I would have probably called that an insurrection, maybe. If you want to call everything else an insurrection, the whole thing with George Floyd was an insurrection. That got out of hand. You got a guy who's got a criminal background who tried to pass off phony money in a fucking convenience store. Somebody who had drugs in their system that was killing him, waiting outside the convenience store to get arrested. And then try to fight it. Try to resist arrest. Now, yes, the police officer, Chauvin, he was in the wrong for placing his knee on Floyd's neck the way he did. It should have been on his back. That's how police are trained to hold people down. Not by their neck, but by their back. Did Chauvin really kill Floyd? No. Floyd was dead already before that even happened. Now, yeah, technically he was still alive, barely breathing, but the drugs in his system, his heart rate palpitating the way it was, he was a big guy. Floyd killed himself that day. But what happened? We had an insurrection of things happen right after that shit with the whole Black Lives Matter bullshit. Remember when that happened in 2020? This pattern paints an unstable portrait of black Americans treated, under the Act, as both wards and enemies of the state. Despite progress and changes in law, the Act's invocation, nonetheless, reflects the enduring stigma of black people in America as potential insurrectionists. So you're saying that black people are not capable of creating an insurrection? Of being part of an insurrection? That's what you're saying? That it's racist that if black people cause an insurrection, that it's racist that, only whites do that? And black people, they're not guilty of that. Black people are not capable of that. Only white people are. Yeah. As you stated earlier in the article, a wide mob of whites. I'll go back and reread that in a second. Even when the act was invoked to enforce the desegregation of public schools in the South or defend the rights of civil rights protesters to march from Selma, for example, the people often described as rising up are the black activists who practice civil disobedience. Meanwhile, staunch segregationists like Alabama Governor George Wallace, even when their actions defied law, have not been similarly typecast as insurrectionists. And of course, the contrast between the militarized show of force in DC during the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020 and the paltry staffing of law enforcement at the Capitol during the Stop the Steal rally reveals a recent and undeniable picture of who government officials have tended to regard as potential insurrectionists. In the end, the resistance of some commentators against the label insurrection is, in essence, a defense against being redefined and thusly marked with the presumption of guilt, perpetually scanned by the censor of societal suspicion, prospectively analyzed as a threat to the state, a predicament traditionally reserved for black people in the United States. So this entire article seems like to be a whole thing about race. As stated earlier in the article, ever since the mostly white mob stormed the U.S. Capitol. So Time took a word of insurrection, which means a violent uprising against an authority or government, and Time turned it into something racially. Isn't that brilliant of them? Isn't that so brilliant of Time? Or maybe even CNN? I am trying to find, let's see, how Trump's speech led. Okay. This was 2 years ago. Let's watch this. This is Vice News. I'm trying to find something where it's not fabricated.
Welcome the 45th President of the United States of America.
President Trump is known for his blunt, off-the-cuff style of speaking. And that could be why the Senate convicts him this month for inciting an insurrection. Legally, whether or not he actively engaged in a rebellion against the authority of the United States. According to the House's article of impeachment, Trump made statements that encouraged and foreseeably resulted in lawless action at the Capitol.
Wrong. Encouraged and foreseeably resulted in lawless action at the Capitol? So you mean to tell me that Trump told his rally let's all go march down to the Capitol, peacefully and patriotically voice your opinions. Let your voices be heard. So you're telling me that he encouraged them into the lawless action of the Capitol? I almost don't want to fucking finish this fucking video. Because the person behind this, Vice News, yeah, they seem liberal.
But how can making a few statements incite a rebellion?
One component of inciting someone to violence or inciting someone to action is presenting them or creating a shared understanding of the world. In order to march to the Capitol, break windows, tear down the American flag, and replace that flag with the flag of someone we feel more devoted to. There's an us versus them, and that means the only rightful conclusion is to take some action to get the election back, to get the country back.
That idea comes up in the 2 quotes included in the article of impeachment.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
And
we won this election, and we won it by a landslide. This was not
the rhetorical effect.
All right, I'm done with this video. For somebody like this to take videos like that, piece it together to fit their own fucking quote, their own fucking agenda like that, nah, fuck them. Somebody somewhere has got to have an actual video. Somebody somewhere's got it.
Right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Yeah, of course. They cut it. They cut it.
Please welcome the 45th President of the United States of America.
Trump is president, Christ is king. Trump is president, Christ is king.
Let's have trial by combat. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
Wow.
USA! USA! USA!
Pence defies Trump. Oh, of course he did, that fucking traitor. They refused to overturn the election. Police on the steps were forced to retreat. You know what's funny about this video? And I'm trying to figure out if I would be able to show it to you guys. Let me see here. Okay. Let's capture that. Yes. Watch this, guys. Hold on. I gotta add something to this. Okay, so I'm not picking up my output. Okay. Let's go ahead and play that now. Look at that! Somebody come walking in with a Confederate flag.
You can see Vice President Pence and his family quickly move down the stairs. The Vice
Fucking
President
traitor.
turns around briefly as he's headed down.
Fucking traitor piece of shit.
We were just told that there has been tear gas in the rotunda, and we're being instructed to each of us get gas masks that are under our seats.
Gas mask? You're all wearing those fucking COVID masks.
you're filming? You're just to hell with this?
Look at this, guys. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. So he urged his supporters on Twitter, no violence. He never incited violence to begin with. He told his supporters, let's march peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol. But they turned all that around, didn't they?
This was a fraudulent election.
Yes, it was.
But we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
The elected representatives of the people of the United States,
this piece of shit,
have assembled again on the very same day to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Let's get back to
You don't get two shits about the
Votes
Constitution.
for President of the United States are as follows. Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware has received 306 votes. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 232 votes. The chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit. A rigged election. Horribly rigged election. So that whole quote unquote insurrection was probably just for them to finish fucking with the votes. Just so the next day they could quote unquote tally them up. So how is it that Trump has a rally, 70-minute rally that was said, and tells his supporters, his followers, true Americans, tells them to march to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically so that their voices can be heard? Oh, they didn't want that. Nobody wanted that. So what happened? We know what happened that day. We know there was a bunch of Biden dick suckers. The woke liberal left. We know they were down there. We know what they had planned. They set it all up. And there's even truth behind that too. Because some of those people that they arrested, they were Trump haters. They were anti-Trump. They were pro-Biden. That was all proven after all that shit. But now here it is, 3 years later, and every article that you read on the internet has all been updated and fabricated to make Trump look like the terrorist. You can't find an honest-to-God article on the internet right now that is genuine to the word of January 6, 2021. Just when I thought I found one, guess what? It was updated a year after. Isn't that a coincidence? Is Trump responsible for the so-called insurrection of January 6th? No. Deep down, I know he's not. And he will not be charged with it. Because there's no evidence that proves. All the evidence points toward the Democrats. The people who actually attacked these people, that actually killed and wounded all these people. There was one that was dressed like a fucking Viking. He was a goddamn soldier, a Marine, who was in support of Biden. Oh, you saw him within the following week or so in uniform. Everybody recognized him. All these people that were part of this riot were all paid off. Like I said, in their America, in a Democrat's America, sometimes sacrifice has to be made for their love of the country. They made their ultimate sacrifice, and it cost lives. Look at when Biden pulled the troops out of Afghanistan or wherever they were posted at. Biden lied. 13 died. So to him, 13 brave men and women made the sacrifice so others can go home, right? But what about those 13 men and women whose families are still in mourning over them? They could have been home with their families too. But does the Biden administration care? No. They never have and they never will. Until the day somebody puts a bullet in Hunter Biden's brain. Oh, daddy will that'll be the day he'll probably want to go to war. Yeah. If something happens to a Biden, that's when something will happen. Yeah. Okay. But goddamn, if it were Trump, people want Trump dead. People want him under the jail. Trump did nothing. Trump was within the laws. He was within the legal system. He told his people that they can protest peacefully to the Capitol. That's within their amendment rights. Peaceful protest. The rioters were on the Democrat side. And then when Trump told everybody to go home, they all took advantage of that because his supporters went home. The riot stopped. That's when they told their guys, okay, y'all can stop now. Trump's gone. His people are gone. We can make it look like that Trump was part of this shit. That's all they had to do. January 6th is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke on the American people. To place blame on one of the greatest American presidents that we've had in history. Probably since Kennedy. Maybe since Abraham Lincoln. I don't fucking know. Trump did everything he could within his 4 years. And he never backed down. This was somebody that paid visits to hospitals, to grave sites of soldiers that have been killed off in the war. This is somebody who is dedicated to his country. He's dedicated. Is Biden dedicated? He's dedicated to falling over every fucking chance he gets. He's dedicated to sniffing kids. He's dedicated to robbing you blindly. Biden don't give a fuck about this country. If he did, he wouldn't be giving our money to a foreign fucking country for a war that we have nothing to do with. I don't give two fucks about Ukraine. I don't. Why? Because our bread comes from there? Grow it here. Give our farmers some work. Put some grain in the fields. Grow that shit. We all know how to make yeast. We all know how to make bread. Bring the shit over here. We'll grow it in America. Whatever happened to made in America? Y'all want this shit out of a foreign country. This country has gotten so fucking pathetic in its last 50 to 100 years, I would say. With a lot of shit. A lot of shit that has happened. A lot of shit that has gotten covered up. Everything. it almost makes me sad to be an American, but then when I see somebody as patriotic as Donald Trump trying his damnedest for us, giving us hope, that makes me respect the man. I respect Trump. I support Trump. Trump has taken every fired round that he has taken. Every shot that has been made at Trump, he has taken it. And he stood strong on his own 2 feet. And what makes it even better is his true loyal supporters. Yes, I am a true MAGA supporter. I will flaunt it to the day I die. Y'all look at MAGA as a terroristic movement. I see it as somebody trying to make America great again. He's not talking about restoring it to its roots of slavery and all that shit. But that's on your all's mind. You all are fucking retarded as shit if you think, yeah, he's going to restore us back. People are going to be slaves again and all. That's been abolished, you fucking retards. There's going to be none of that anymore. You want to end racism? Stop talking about it. Stop acknowledging it. Because in the end, you are making yourself look racist and even more retarded than you are. January 6th is a fucking joke. 5 people died, 140 people were injured. Is that any greater than 9/11 or the Holocaust? No, the fuck it ain't. Before I end this, let's look at how many people died on 9/11. How many people died on 9/11? Biden. Huh, Biden? How many people perished 23 years ago? How many people perished 23 years ago, Biden, due to the terrorist attacks of 9/11? 2,977 people dead across New York, D.C., and Pennsylvania. And then 184 people at the Pentagon. And then 40 people as a result of the Flight 93 crash. So if I tally those up, Biden, that's 3,200 people. 3,201 people. Compared to, what, 5 people at the Capitol? 5. 3,200. 5. Let's look at the Holocaust. How many people died in the Holocaust? Let's see. I just had the number here. Let us remind you guys. Your supposed president, not my president, your supposed president, said that January 6th was much greater than 9/11 and the Holocaust combined. 5 people died. 140 were injured. Compared to 9/11's 3,201 people who died. And then going back to the Holocaust. Approximately 2.7 million Jewish people were murdered at the killing centers. About 2 million Jews were murdered in mass shooting operations and related massacres. Between 800,000 and 1 million Jewish people were murdered in ghettos, labor camps, and concentration camps. At least 250,000 Jews were murdered in other acts of violence outside the camps and ghettos. So what does that really tally up to? There's even more casualties. There's even more casualties, people. So at least in a systematic state-sponsored genocide, close to about 11 million people were killed. 11 million people were killed as a result of the Holocaust. That was almost 100 years ago, people. Within a 3-4 year period. 11 million people. 9/11. 3,201 people died. January 6th. 5. I can count them on my hands. And you, Biden? Biden is a impressive piece of donkey shit for saying such fucking words. Let me see if I can find the video that reminds you all what he said. Biden said, January 6th is worse than 9/11. I'm sure it's out here. I'm sure it is. Oh, he also compared it to Pearl Harbor. I'm sorry, he also compared it to Pearl Harbor. That's what it was. How many people died at Pearl Harbor? Oh, look at this. The attack on Pearl Harbor killed 2,403 U.S. personnel, including sailors, soldiers, and civilians. Additionally, 1,178 people were wounded. 129 Japanese soldiers were killed. But let me remind you all, this is the most sickening thing to come out of fucking DC.
Morning. Certain dates echo throughout history, including
This
dates
is the cunt,
that
Kamala
instantly
Harris.
remind all who have lived through them
The cunt.
where they were and what they were doing when our democracy came under assault. Dates that occupy not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory.
Fuck off.
December 7th, 1941. September 11th, 2001. And January 6th, 2021.
Fuck you, you
On
stupid
that day,
cunt.
I was not only Vice President-elect, I was also a United States Senator. And I was here at the Capitol that morning at a classified hearing with fellow members of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Suck a fat one,
Hours
Harris.
later, the gates of the Capitol were breached. I had left, but my thoughts immediately turned not only to my colleagues, but to my staff, who had been forced to seek refuge in our office, converting filing cabinets into barricades.
You should have been one of those victims.
What the extremists who roamed these halls targeted was not only the lives of elected leaders. What they sought to degrade and destroy was not only a building, hallowed as it is. What they were assaulting were the institutions, the values, the ideals that generations of Americans have marched, picketed, and shed blood to establish and defend. On January 6th, we all saw what our nation would look like if the forces who seek to dismantle our democracy are successful. The lawlessness.
Fuck you, you stupid goddamn cunt. That's all Harris is. Yeah, yes, Jeff. Yes, fuck that cunt. How the fuck are you going to sit there and say some degrading bullshit like that? Like I said, if you guys want part of this shit, hop in the Discord. I am heated with the mic. Anybody want to voice their opinion on the show? Shit, I am live on Discord if you want. Why ain't she laughing? Oh, I know. I almost don't want to fucking continue this shit. Stupid fucking bitch.
The violence, the chaos. What was at stake then and now is the right to have our future decided the way the Constitution prescribes it.
Bitch, you know nothing about the
By
Constitution.
we, the people. All the people.
You ain't none of the people.
We cannot let our future be decided by those bent.
I know somebody showed me that shit too, man.
Overturning our votes.
He say show me that shit.
And peddling lies and
I
misinformation.
guess suicide must not work for me this time.
By some radical faction that may be newly resurgent, but whose roots run old and deep.
I can't with this bitch. I can't anymore. I can't. Like, it's truly degrading on American people. Everything that witch said is truly degrading. Like, how are you going to come out and say some fabricated shit like that? This was the greatest tragedy in American history. Yeah, this was truly the greatest tragedy in American history. Yes, it was. You are a big piece of shit. You're as big as a piece of shit as Joe Biden is. You're going to sit there on your hierarchy. What's going on, Big Blackie? What's going on, Tyree? So, Kamala, nobody can take Kamala Harris any serious. She said that 3 fucking years ago, guys. 3 years ago. If you watch, if people like this who picket and bloodshed and all that, if they did that to dismantle our democracy so many years ago, this is what you expect. Like, well, that's what the Second Amendment states. When you have a government that is too overpowering the way you all are trying to make it, that's why we have the right to bear arms to overthrow governments like this. You talking about, yeah, Camel Toe Harris. That's exactly what I was talking about, man. So, you guys are now joining. So, I was going over the whole thing, talking about January 6th and insurrection and how, you know, they so desperately blame Trump for a lot of shit. And then you got Camel Toe Harris and fucking Sleepy Joe Biden sitting there and stuff, talking about how our country could have died today. It was such a tragic thing. This will go down in history books as one of the most tragic events ever. More tragic than Pearl Harbor, more tragic than 9/11. And I think even at one point, Biden said it was more tragic than the Holocaust. Really? I just labeled out the victim numbers. The Holocaust. Close to 11 million people died in the Holocaust. Pearl Harbor, around 2,400 people or something like that. And then you got 9/11. 3,200 people between New York, D.C., and PA all died. How many people died at the Capitol riots? 5. Well, yeah, motherfuckers still talking about January 6th. Yeah, they are. In fact, look at your calendar, man. Look what day it is. Today is January 6th. And of course, people are going to look at today as like it was a goddamn holiday or some shit, you know? They're going to think, oh, today is like the fucking birth of Christ, you know? That kind of thing. January 6th. A fucking day where people went bizarrely retarded. A day for the truly bizarrely retarded. Didn't even realize what day it was. Yeah. I know, man. I know. I wouldn't even keep track of this shit. But then when I saw stuff on like TikTok or whatever, and they were like, oh, January 6th, January 6th. Trump's responsible for January 6th. Trump was responsible for telling a group of his rally. He was holding a rally, and he told them, hey, let's march down to the Capitol. Peacefully and patriotically voice your opinions. Make your voices heard. There's no need for violence. There's no need for this or that. But as soon as they get down there, all this violence takes place. And it's all these fucking people that are siding with the Democrats. The ones that suck Joe Biden's asshole. Yes, those are the ones. The Democrats made the sacrifice of 5 people. I love how they call them terrorists, but call the people who rob, kill, and burn down buildings peace. Exactly, Tyree. I was making that statement earlier too. You know, all the riots, you know, with the fucking George Floyd shit and all that. Oh, they're peaceful protesters. They're peacefully protesting. They're making their voices heard. No, they're destroying public property. They're putting people out of business. They're assaulting police officers for no reason. This ain't peaceful. This is a fucking riot. But yet, when Trump's name is heard, when there's somebody who supports Trump in the crowd, it becomes a fucking riot. How fucking sad. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe the stupidity in this country when it comes to shit like that. And as I said, you know, like, I support Trump, and I respect Trump. I do respect Trump because this is somebody who has stood on his ground for 4 years as president, who never gave a shit of what anybody said about him. This is somebody who stood his ground for the last 3.5 years, taking every bullet fired at him, and he's still standing strong. He's still fighting back. Never once has he said, I give up, I'm backing down. People wanted Trump to run again. He's running again. So what are they doing? They're using everything in the book to throw at him, to keep him at bay, to throw him back down into the pits where he quote-unquote belongs. But that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Is there going to be another insurrection? I tell you what. I will guarantee or bet this. If America makes the right choice and gets Biden out of office, and Trump somehow gets into office, and yes, according to history and from researching it, you know, he is allowed to run another term. Trump is. If for some high miracle that Trump does get it, I guarantee you there's going to be an insurrection on the Capitol or the White House. And it's going to be done by the Democrats, the Biden supporters. You guys will come back here a year later and you'll be like, oh my God, you were fucking right. You called it. I guarantee it. It happened 3 years ago because everybody thought that since the election was rigged and Trump was out, they thought Trump was going to go into the White House and say, I'm not leaving here. I'm not leaving here. No, I won the election. No, he didn't do that. He congratulated Biden. You know, he congratulated his opponent. Did he say that the election was rigged? Yes, it was. Everybody knows it was rigged. You know, when you got a pandemic going on and you're telling people to vote by mail, of course something's going to happen. Something's going to be rigged somewhere. So the voices of America wasn't heard. Half of those voices ended up in fucking landfills. Remember that? All those votes ended up in fucking landfills. They dug all that shit out. That's exactly what happened with that. But I guarantee you, that is exactly what's going to happen. If by some miracle Trump gets his 4 years to turn everything around, to unfuck what Biden has fucked up, I will guarantee you it's going to happen. There will be another quote-unquote insurrection. This time, there might be an assassination. I'm surprised the Democrats haven't thought about doing something like that. We got to keep Trump from getting into office. What can we do? Let's throw 1,000 charges at him. He beat all the charges. Let's tie him to the insurrection of January 6th. He's not tied to it. People already know. He wasn't there. All the evidence is out there. We could try everything we can. What haven't we tried yet? Oh, then you got that one guy in the corner. That one guy sitting there smoking a cigarette in the dark of the corner of the White House or the Capitol building, you know? He's like, well, you're $1,000 shy of my idea. Who said that? Me. You know, you tried everything, right? Tried throwing everything and throwing a book at him with everything, right? Everybody thinks he's going to jail. He's not going to jail. He's beating all these charges. You know why? Because there's no proof of putting him behind bars, right? Yeah, there's nothing there. But January 6th is a joke. People see it as a joke. People know the truth, right? People know the truth. People are going to see the truth. You can change articles on the internet. You can take videos down. You can fabricate videos. You can edit videos. You can do this. You could do that. You could hold rallies. Nothing's going to happen to Trump. So what do we do? Well, we're $1,000 short of my idea. Let me tell you. Remember what happened to Lincoln? Remember what happened to Kennedy? Remember the attempted you-know-what on Reagan? Why hasn't anybody done that to Trump yet? Why hasn't anybody got their Lee Harvey Oswald set in a building? Set across from Trump Towers? Why hasn't anybody done that yet? I guarantee you. That's probably what's going on. You know, the Bidens and the Clintons, they're so knee-deep in a lot of fucking crooked shit. Same thing with the Obamas. I'm surprised somebody hasn't thought of doing something like that yet. I'm not saying it should happen or it's going to happen. In fact, something like that shouldn't even be joked with. But you know what? What has happened in history when it comes to anything peaceful? Anything that's a good change in America? And Tom and I mentioned this yesterday on URC. Abraham Lincoln. He was the president at the times when the slaves were free and all, right? He was assassinated. What happened to Kennedy? Kennedy wanted peace. While everybody else wanted to go to war with Cuba. You know, remember the Cuban War Crisis and all that shit? You know, where they wanted to invade Cuba and take out Fidel Castro? Kennedy was against that. What happened to Kennedy? Bullet in the back of the head. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights back in the 60s. What happened to him? Shot at a motel. Malcolm X, Muslim, fought for what he believed in. Assassinated. See, history seems to repeat itself when it comes to people wanting the better life for America. Wanting peace. Something always happens. History always repeats itself. Remember that, people. It's not just a saying, it's something that happens. History repeats itself time and time again. Anybody that looks for peace and good within their homeland, try to turn things around for the better, something always comes up abruptly. And it's always some kind of assassination. It's happened to Lincoln. It's happened to Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan, and so many others who were all for one thing: peace. I'm surprised nobody has tried that with Trump. I'm surprised. And I'm not saying go out there and try to Lee Harvey Oswald him from a fucking building somewhere. No. But I'm surprised that somebody hasn't thought about that. I mean, just give that a thought. You know, I support Trump to the full extent. I respect him. And I hope nothing but the best for him. I hope nothing terrible happens to him. He is an amazing icon in America today. This is somebody who was really trying to make things good. And he plans on doing it again. And you got people that are trying to dumb him down. They're trying to bring him down every which way they can. Once again, January 6th is a fucking joke. Remember that. And that brings us to the end of today's showing, today's episode of Tuned In Live. Nearly 3 hours in, guys. The first big show of 2024. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Tuned In Live. If you guys have missed today's episode, fear not, this will be on our YouTube channel, Arrow Entertainment. If you're watching it there, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. If you're watching us on twitch.tv/arrow with a name or kick.com/arrow entertainment, hit that follow button down below. Links for everything are down below in the follow in the description section, guys. If you want to donate to our Cash App, we do accept donations. If you guys feel free to do so. We are also on Discord. If you guys are on Discord and you want to follow us for updates and much, much more, click that Discord link down below and join us today. And we are also on X, or I still call it Twitter, but, you know, whatever you want to call it. We're on X. If you want to follow us on there, link for that is down below as well. Definitely want to thank you guys for joining in today for today's show. Had some laughs, had a lot of good heated moments, but today, boy, was this a real explosive episode today, guys. Real controversial, real explosive. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And until next time, guys, stay tuned in.
What we do here is go back.